I'm going to give you some great advice to pass your DOT physicals. There's 4 areas where most people fail. First, it's their blood pressure. Second, it's their BMI. Third, it's their blood sugar. And fourth, by stroke of luck, it's illegal drugs. Now, a DOT physical is a physical that you have to pass for the Department of Transportation, and the purpose of this is to make sure that you're healthy enough to actually do your job driving people around the city. A lot of people have to pass DOT physicals for their job, and it's simply to make sure that you're safe to transport the general public. So let's talk about the first thing that you need to pass, which is your blood pressure. Now, I've come up with 5 things that you absolutely need to do before your DOT physical to make sure that your blood pressure is considered normal. The first one is to do deep breathing exercises. Now, I have many videos on this. I'll put some links at the end of the video to make sure that you know exactly how to do it. But before your DOT physical, you have to understand that a lot of people have white coat syndrome, and it's not funny, but people have normal blood pressure. They walk into the doctor's office, they get nervous, or the doctor's office rushes them into the room, slaps that blood pressure cuff on, and you don't even get any moment to rest. And it's supposed to be your resting blood pressure. It's not supposed to be your hyperventilating, stressed out blood pressure. And unfortunately, people are labeled with high blood pressure when they don't even have high blood pressure. So make sure before you go into the physical that you ask the nurse to have some time, maybe about 5 minutes, to do some slow, deep breathing exercises. So you inhale through the nose, out through the mouth, real nice and relaxed and slow, and that will set your blood pressure to its more normal numbers. The second thing is, a lot of people have this habit of drinking coffee in the morning to wake up. Unfortunately, coffee has caffeine in it, or any drink that has caffeine in it for that matter. Caffeine will actually raise your blood pressure. So if you have caffeine before you go into the DOT physical, you're already setting yourself up for failure. So on that particular day, don't drink any coffee, don't drink any sodas that have caffeine in them. The third is, if you're a smoker, don't smoke cigarettes before your DOT physical. It's silly, because your blood pressure will literally go up immediately when you start smoking. Just refrain from smoking until after your DOT physical. Number 4, make sure and schedule your tests about 3 hours after you wake up in the morning. That's the ideal time. And there's a number of reasons for that. Because first of all, you're not going to be rushed. Second of all, you have time to take your supplements prior to the physical. So before the physical, you want to make sure and take your magnesium. You want to take some type of beetroot supplement, or at least drink 8 ounces of beetroot juice, because it takes about 3 hours for the beetroot juice to lower your blood pressure. Take some supplements like L-arginine and L-citrulline. Those are very good for your body. They help your body create more nitric oxide in addition to the beetroot juice and the magnesium. That will help dilate your blood vessels, make your blood vessels very pliable, and your blood pressure will go down. The last, and it should be the most obvious thing, is to remember to take your blood pressure medication the night before. Most people take their blood pressure medication at night, and the reason why is because it helps lower the blood pressure in the early morning, because it takes time for the blood pressure medication to work. And I'm always surprised how many people just forget. Now, the second thing that most people fail when it comes to their DOT physicals are their BMI, meaning they're not tall enough or they're not skinny enough. How you fix that is, there's a way that in theory you can be a little bit better with your BMI. Now, the BMI is a calculation of essentially your height and your weight. It's how much you weigh divided by your height. To make it confusing, it's how much you weigh, but not in pounds. It's kilograms over your height in meters squared. This, of course, makes it scientific so doctors can make a lot of money figuring this stuff out. But ultimately, it's your weight over your height. The issue is, you could either be taller to make your BMI better, or you can weigh less. Now, interesting fact, did you know that you're actually taller in the morning than you are in the afternoon, you see what happens is there's these discs, and they're in between each of our vertebrae. We have 23 individual spinal discs. Now, you've heard of herniated discs. Well, these discs hold water, and when we sleep at night, because there's no gravity compressing our spine, the water starts to accumulate and it gets bigger. Now, if each disc gets bigger by 1 millimeter, if there's 23 individual discs and we grow 1 millimeter per disc, which is not a lot, by the way, that means we can literally be 23 millimeters taller in the morning than we are at nighttime. Because when we stand up, what happens is our body weight compresses the discs, and over time the water will come out of the disc a little bit, and we could literally be an inch taller, or 23 millimeters. An inch is 25.5 millimeters, but it's close, right? You could be an inch taller in the morning than you are in the afternoon. Now, what this means is that when you calculate your BMI, if they are actually measuring you, they will measure you essentially an inch taller in the morning. Thus, the way the calculation is, your BMI would be less. Likewise, because of the calculation, if you were to simply lose 5 pounds, that would change your BMI. And if your employer or the Department of Transportation has criteria of what your BMI needs to be in order to do your job, then maybe losing 5 pounds and gaining an inch could be enough to let you have your job. So what do you do to lose 5 pounds real quickly? It's actually easy. Just go on a keto diet the first week. Now, most people, when they lose weight on the keto diet, the initial 5 to 7 pounds is just water weight anyway. So you could do that fairly quickly if you want to try to manipulate the numbers. Now, the third reason why most people fail their DOT physical is simply because of their blood sugar. Now, this, of course, is a problem, because if they're testing your blood sugar, then that can be changed relatively quickly, your glucose. But if they're checking your A1C, then you might be screwed, because the A1C checks your blood sugar over a longer period of time. So that is not something you can change quickly within a week or so. But if they're checking only the glucose, then you can literally alter your glucose by not eating any carbohydrates for a period of time. You see, if you have diabetes, what happens is, as soon as you eat something with a lot of sugar, your blood sugar goes up, because your pancreas is maybe secreting insulin, but your body just it's just been overloaded for so long with the sugar that the cells just can't handle the insulin and the glucose all at the same time. So if you were to just not eat anything with carbohydrates in it for a period of time, then your blood sugar may stabilize and you may be able to pass the DOT physical. Now, the fourth and final reason why people fail their DOT physical is because of illegal drugs. And one could argue that if you're doing illegal drugs, then maybe you shouldn't be working for the Department of Transportation. I mean, I don't want to get on a bus when the guy's loaded, but people often make mistakes, and they may be doing something that they don't realize that they're doing. For example, in California, marijuana is kind of legal. Nobody's really sure. It's legal based on certain criteria, and it's federally, at current moment, marijuana is not federally legalized, but in California it is, based on medical problems. So even if you're smoking pot and it's technically legal in California, and you got, one of those medical doctors to give you a piece of paper that examines you somehow magically over the phone, which I find ridiculous, you may say it's legal, but the Department of Transportation doesn't consider it legal. So you may be smoking pot to kind of try to relax, and the reality is it's still considered an illegal drug. Now, of course, if you're doing meth, cocaine, heroin, something like that, maybe this job just isn't for you. But it is kind of wild that some people fail their DOT physical because they did some illegal drug the morning of the test. Now, out of these four things, the blood pressure, the BMI, the blood sugar, and illegal drugs, most people fail their dot physical because of the blood pressure. So if you are serious about getting your blood pressure to normal, at the end of the video, and I have one more thing to tell you, but at the end of the video, there will be a box, and that's my complete guide to getting naturally healthy. If you want to lower your blood pressure for a test, that's one thing, but if you want to lower your blood pressure to save your life, then that's probably a better solution. And I give you all the stuff that you need to do for free on that complete guide. So at the end of the video, just wait for the end of the video, there'll be a box and you can actually watch that video, take notes, and then get started. So I want to thank today's video sponsor. It's Bioptimizer's Magnesium Breakthrough. They make a magnificent magnesium supplement. It has 7 different types of magnesium in the supplement itself, so it covers all your bases. I take 2 tablets at nighttime. It helps me sleep, it helps regulate my blood pressure, it helps me recover from hard exercise, and it just makes me feel fantastic. Magnesium is one of the most difficult minerals and electrolytes to get into our body because in order to get enough, we would have to eat tons and tons of organic food, and even then the soil isn't really as good as it should be. It's one of those supplements that we all probably need to take universally because it has so much benefit to our overall health as well as our blood pressure. So I will put a link down below in the description to let you know how to get it. There's also a discount code if you're one of the first 100 to hit that button today. And I would highly recommend that you try a magnesium supplement for your overall health. If you have specific questions in regard to blood pressure, your own health and wellness, we actually do Zoom appointments as well as telephone appointments. We do these Zoom and telephone appointments from all around the world. So you're more than welcome to call our office, schedule an actual Zoom or a telephone consultation with me. And what we're gonna do is we are going to section off a piece of our day just to speak to you and answer all your questions. So if you're interested in that, there's a link down below. You can get to my website and then just contact us. Now there is a fee for a Zoom or telephone consultation, so it's not free, but I can promise you this, you're gonna get your money's worth.